The Todd and Oz Show is live. Get in on the conversation at 512-836-0590. Now, here are Todd and Oz.
Yeah, 6:05 here on the Todd and Oz Show, the Wednesday edition. It's a big deal. And you can join us, too, at 512-836-0590. Well, apparently Colombia is reporting some progress has been made with the protesters there on their quad.
Sure,
they've agreed to get rid of some of the tents, that sort of thing.
Sure they have.
And I noticed at Columbia that yesterday afternoon, all the professors stood in solidarity with the protesters.
I mean, I that should come as no surprise, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones teaching this nonsense.
That's true. That's true. That's right. They created it. That's right. They fostered it. They watered it. They grew it there.
They are downloading their anti-American thoughts into their students' hard drives.
6:05. Join us at 512-836-0590. Listen, if you're concerned about your tax dollars, if you're concerned about an oppressive government just sticking their hand deeper and deeper into your wallet, today's going to be one of those days where you might get a little upset. Yeah, the Senate has passed the long-delayed $95.3 billion foreign aid package, sending much of needed ammunition and military equipment to Ukraine soldiers and to fortify Israel's missile defense systems, while also forcing the sale of Chinese-controlled TikTok in the United States. This includes a lot. Newsman Lucas Tomlinson joins us.
Here's what's in it. $26 billion for Israel, $60 billion for Ukraine, and $8 billion for the Indo-Pacific. Here's one Republican senator on why he voted against it.
I can't support this bill ultimately because it gives money to Gaza, it gives money for the NGOs that are trafficking illegal immigrants, and it does nothing, zero, to stop the invasion at our southern border. That's got to be our priority.
Now, shortly after the Senate bill passed, President Biden released a statement saying, "I will sign this bill into law and address the American people as soon as it reaches my desk tomorrow so we can begin sending weapons and equipment to Ukraine this week." The bill requires Biden to articulate a strategy for the Ukraine war within 45 days, something we've not heard much about over the past 2 years. The Ukrainians want to return to 1991 borders. That includes taking back all of Crimea and eastern Ukraine from Russian forces. The bill also requires the sale of TikTok. Now, security experts say China is using TikTok to manipulate the American people and point to the anti-Israel protests on college campuses across the country, spreading anti-Semitism and pro-Hamas messaging. Guys?
All right, there you go. That's newsman Lucas Tomlinson at the White House this morning. What do you think?
I mean, thank God we've got priorities. I just can't thank our elected officials enough for allowing us every year the ability to pay our way out of jail through taxes, pay our way to stay out of jail through taxation. They take that money and they give it to other countries without ever securing our border. And so thank God we're doing that. And TikTok. This TikTok thing's going to be great for us, too, because now a president will have the ability to shut down any website or app that he deems to be problematic, a threat to national security. It will be used against you. Make no mistake about it.
Well, we're going to hear from NYU professor Scott Galloway on TikTok and a couple of other topics a little bit later this morning. Yeah, these protests continue to break out on college campuses, and what's included in that big foreign aid package is probably going to anger some of them even more, right?
Yep.
Well, it's now spreading to the West Coast, college campuses, many calling for the end, calling for a ceasefire. And newsman Matt Finn, he's in Los Angeles.
We begin at Cal Poly Humboldt in Northern California, where the school will be closed and classes are moved online after an intense clash between pro-Palestinian protesters and police. In a statement, Cal Poly writes that the university is concerned about safety as protesters have taken over an academic building, and the community is advised to stay away. The school says the protesters are also using zip ties to seal doors, creating extreme fire hazards.
Yeah, the University of California, Berkeley, also joining in the protest. Students calling the schools to implement policies that protect Palestinian students and calls for an end to the violence in Gaza, as they say.
What protection do Palestinian students need when all I'm seeing, the violence, potential for violence, the threats, the damage to private property or public property on some of these campuses, it's coming from the pro-Palestinians, the pro-Hamas supporters. So what protections do you need? I'd say you're having a pretty good day every day you're out there acting like a child, screaming into the wind about whatever you're screaming about. and not getting arrested for it. You're having a really good day.
They should be thankful that they're currently in a country that allows them to do that.
Yes. And quite well funded, apparently, with a bunch of nice, cozy tents and everything.
Well, listen, this measure contains money for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan, as well as humanitarian aid for Gaza, largely matching an earlier Senate bill, plus some additions made by the House, such as sanctions on Russia and Iran and the TikTok provision. Well, leaders in the GOP-controlled House also changed roughly $9.5 billion in economic aid to Ukraine into forgivable loans rather than grants, to make it more politically palatable for some Republicans. Well, the bill had some broad support in the Senate with the backing of almost every Democrat and a majority of Republicans. Several Republicans who were opposed to an earlier version of this package in February, which came after the failed push to attach it to a border policy overhaul, switched their vote to support this bill Tuesday. Senator Ted Cruz, he said he voted no. He didn't like the idea of aiding both sides of this war in Gaza.
I'm assuming John Cornyn voted yes.
He did. He did. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's no surprise. We talked a brief bit about this yesterday, but I mean, there is Ukraine hysteria, just mass hysteria in the halls of Congress right now. The other day, watching them fly just all those Ukrainian flags. They're all waving them, really proudly. This is America.
Yeah.
For God's sake, don't be waving other countries' flags like that.
That video was recorded by Thomas Massey.
Right.
And apparently he got a phone call from the Sergeant of Arms and was going to be fined $500 if he didn't pull the video down.
So guess what he didn't do?
He didn't pull the video down.
Didn't pull it down. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, now I've seen some social media blaming, the Speaker of the House for telling the Sergeant of Arms to call Massey.
Sure.
It didn't happen like that. And in fact, the House Speaker actually posted something last night saying, no, we don't want that. Don't fine him for that.
Yeah, thank goodness. I mean, he had to play some damage control, but...
Not that I'm trying to defend Mike Johnson.
No, Mike Johnson's kind of gotten us into a lot of this mess right now. I don't think he's made a lot of fans.
It just feels like he didn't tell the truth from the get-go.
He feels like a Democrat plant.
How about this video that's circulating on social media? This is a Democrat lawmaker out of, I think it's Minnesota, hand-delivering yesterday to Zelensky in Ukraine a kind of a write-up, a paragraph, a one-pager of this bill, this $95 billion bill and the money that's going to Ukraine, with a list of the lawmakers that voted yes.
Hello, sir. Bill Keating from Massachusetts. And I have something that you're really going to like.
Yeah.
This is the official tally of the vote.
Yes, I see.
For the supplemental aid.
Yes.
And look at that vote. 73%.
Yes. Thank you so much. 73.
That's a good vote.
Good, very good. Thank you very much.
Why would Zelensky need a list of the lawmakers that voted yes? I'm just curious.
I don't know. There are a lot of questions there.
Send him a thank you note.
Yeah, that's what he's going. That's what he's going to do.
Nice little thank you note. Kind of a post-wedding thank you note, that sort of thing, maybe.
Or maybe he wants to be able to keep tabs on those who didn't vote for it.
6:13 here at KLBJ.
The Todd and Oz Show.